Is all right? Is it working?
I should probably unmute it as well. Sorry, Jamie and I were sitting here waffling backwards and forwards, and I'm chatting away on the Twitch chat, and suddenly the music stops, and I'm like, oh, yes, the stream.
Press the button, Matt.
Can everyone hear us okay? No JD equals no admin. Yes, Tintin.
Oh, is it?
Oh, no, according to the introduction, Jamie's laid out as admin. Get on with it, Jamie. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. How we doing, chat? How we doing? So we've got a really good preview for you tonight. We've got Peak Forest. Yes, Peak Forest from Ambergate to Chinley and Buxton.
Everyone has to keep pausing in the business whenever they say Peak Forest. This is why, because they keep saying Peak Valley, and I keep shouting at them.
Yeah, we're still doing it now by mistake, aren't we?
Even now. Well, no, everyone stopped, but it's... And now we're going to talk about Peak Forest. That's right, isn't it? Yes, Peak Forest.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just a thing we've... Anyway. So, yeah, we're going to run 4 different things, aren't we? So we've got... the 4F, we've got a little run with the 8F, and then I think 2 runs with the Jubilee. Is that right, Matt?
We have got the 4F, the 8F, and the Jubilee twice, yes.
That's right, perfect. So, yeah. If you want to start when you're ready, Matt.
Right, okay, cool. Well, let's get on with it then. Let me switch it over to full screen. You should now see the game.
There we go.
Let's go for Peak Forest Railway. Let's have a look at what we got in the way of scenarios. First, we have Chinley Gala, which is just epic. It's very different to the usual. We've got... hang on a minute. I think something is echoing on this side. Have I got the stream open?
Ooh.
Interesting. I don't know where that's come from. Hang on a second, folks.
No, you're all right.
It's coming back from you, Jamie.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. It's been ages. It's been ages since I did the TSW one, so I'm like catching up. Anyway, don't forget, it's on pre-order as well. If you haven't pre-ordered it, it's available and it's due to release on the 9th of May, so it's not long away.
Absolutely.
And you got 10% discount on Steam. Prices are £29.99, $39.99, €35.99. And also, don't forget, we've got the. There's also been a patch that's gone out for today. I'll go through some of the patch notes if you want me to, chat. But mainly focus on Spirit Steam. So there's been some upgrades to Spirit Steam as well.
Spirit Steam and Loco out on Pack 2, but yeah, a lot of improvements to Spirit Steam. And a lot of those improvements, like Steam Physics Performance, also carry on to the West Cornwall Steam pack as well. So if you're a Steam fan, that was a big update. Seems to be going down well on the public forums as well. So if you're on the public forums, do share your findings as well. But if you've got any trouble, let us know. But anyway, back to Peak. So we have got Chinley Gala, which is a good bit of fun, where there's a gala going on at Chinley, and you'll be doing all sorts of things. You're talking with non-player characters, and you're doing. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that? It's just a bit different. All mixed up. 2 hours 20 minutes is a pick-up drop-off scenario along the route with the 4F. With the 8F. It is widely considered among the beta team to be the best scenario in the game, not just in this route, but in the game. So, worth the 2 hours 20. I've not actually played this one yet because it was a very late edition, which the beta team inspired. The beta team said what was there wasn't good enough in their opinion, and the gameplay team, Cameron in particular, jumped on it and said, I'll have a go, and he redid the whole thing based on their feedback, and they're all rapturous rounds of applause for the end result. So there you go. Peak shunting is a little bit different. Again, that's one with the 4F, so you'll be doing some stuff with 4F around Tonstead area. Breaking the bank is the one we're going to be doing shortly, where you will be doing banking, pushing a train up a hill. Deep freeze, this is the cold one, and you'll be helping taking a train up from Ambergate. And then Royal Appointment is the special one we added because of, the thing happening this weekend that some of you may be aware of. So we added an extra scenario, which is running a double-headed train, so double-heading, now working. And because it wasn't working prior to this is a new thing, same as banking. You'll be running this one double-headed, and you will be setting all of the lights on the front. This is...
all the lamps.
All the lamps on the front. You will be flagging up as a royal train, right? So that is the scenarios. Timetable-wise, so 4F. The 4F is predominantly doing shunting and like Loco moves and banking. Now, you don't really see... You'll see a couple of things say banking here, but actually the banking services are generally the ones marked as being led by the 8F on the front. If you want to do the banking one, you probably want to start like these little like Loco move type ones, which then roll into the banking one if you want to be on the back end of the train. This is very similar to main specified, where sometimes you can drive, if you want to, you can drive at the front or you can drive at the back. You just have to pick the appropriate lead in so you get the right bit. Yeah. So you'll be mostly in the Tonstead area doing the quarry shunting is generally loading limestone. And Rowsley siding ones is moving wagons around and so forth in Rowsley sidings. And a bunch of different stuff going on there. The Jubilee will be running passenger services between Ambergate, Chinley and Buxton. Mostly Ambergate and Chinley. There's the odd there are some. So there's a service Buxton and Buxton Midland service. You've got Derby Midland, you've got all sorts of stuff going on. Depot moves as well, because there's when I get into the game, I'll show you the map, but there is the sheds up north of Buxton included as well. We'll get into more detail about what's actually included track-wise when we get in. So there's a bunch of stuff to do, north and southbound with that. And then on the 8F, you're looking at freight trains doing north and southbound, doing a wide range of stuff with that as well. So moving up and down the route. So
it's about is it 140 services, isn't it? Something
I don't know what the service count is, actually, I must admit. Right, let's go. It sounds like about that. Let's go and have a look at Breaking the Bank, which I think is our first one we're starting off with. Let's get in the game. What you want to see is shut up, Matt, get on with and let's have a look at it, yeah?
Get us nattering.
I love the key art here. It's really cool. The 4F pushing the limestone train. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Lovely machine.
Tripping over the buffer stops here. Right, let's get in the seat. Fireman sits down on the side there until we have more to do. No seat here. You've got to stand up. Too cramped in this cab. Right. Put it in reverse.
And we're off.
And yeah, folks, the safety valves are still going off all the time. We're not quite there yet on that, but the volume's turned down a bit more. I don't think it's turned down as much on this as it is on the Jubilee and 8F for some reason, but it is turned down a lot from where it was.
Someone's asked, any collectibles on the route?
Yes, I will show you some collectibles. The bakewell tart is the only one that matters, however.
Most important.
Right, let us not do that. Let us do that and change that junction. So this is the route. Quick tour before we go any further. This is Buxton. So the Midland Railway Station is accessible and usable and is part of the route. The LNWR section, which only goes up that direction, is not connected to the route technically, isn't usable. So that's just there. There'll be trains running out scenery-wise. The yard, however, the engine shed, however, is. You'll be starting and ending some services here, as are the coach sidings down here and these sidings here. So most of this area is usable in some form. You've got all sorts of stuff going on down here. You've got more here. You've got the major junction down here, which takes you then up to Tunstead Quarries, which is where we are at the minute. Lots and lots and lots of stuff going. Quite a steep gradient, which is why we need the bankers. Then into the tunnel, and we make our way up to Chinley, which is the north end, the northwest end of the route. Although we do have, I think this is Galhole up here, which is these bits up here, because these sidings actually only feed off the route, whereas these ones feed onto our route. So there's those sidings there which you can access. Continuing our line back down on the main line, you've got stations, which I don't know the names of necessarily very well at this point.
I know Matlock.
Yeah, Matlock's down here somewhere, and other place names of importance. There you go. There's just some more stuff going on here. I don't know the map very well. That's all. Apologies. More stuff going on here. There's just tons of bits going on here. There's no massive yards or anything, but there's lots of bits and pieces going on as you go up and down
they're little
the route.
country stations, aren't they? With little yards attached to them, aren't they? You know.
Absolutely. And then you get down to Ambergate, and this is accessible down here. And you've got the triangle here. Obviously, this way isn't accessible, but this bit is. And one of the scenarios starts here. Deep Freeze starts in here. So, and it's pretty much an uphill run all the way. It relaxes off on and off as you go. Fairly steep along this bit here, hence the need for bankers. But also heavy trains up here, heavier than the normal. Right, anyway, less waffle, more go.
And we're off. Or shunting as well.
Oh, hello. Wheel spin.
Oh dear.
Getting overexcited.
It's alright. Yes, Ambergate is trying. I think Ambergate has got quite a few platforms. Melbourne, it's quite a very interesting station. We'll probably show it later on. So yeah, you can have a look.
We will be doing. We're doing this bit here to show the banking and to show this aspect of the route. We're going to be doing a run from Buxton to the junction so that you can see that area of the route. And we're then going to do, after the 10 in 10 video, yes, the 10 in 10 video is here, folks, then we will be doing a run across from Ambergate to Chinley. So you've got the entirety of the route then you've seen. So hopefully that will have captured everything there is in the route to see.
Well, we did that well. It's alright.
So I'm not saying I practiced or anything, but...
There we go. Mustn't forget your whistle signals.
Brakes. Now we've got to let the front end know.
There we go. Brakes are now coming off.
Get the brakes off on my side as well. Help them come off a bit faster. Put a bit on the... not too much. Put a bit in the chest. That's
there
it.
We go, you're off. Don't creep it very much.
Crikey, is he making me do it all myself?
It's like the AF's not doing anything.
Oh, hang on. No, I am in forward gear. I thought for a minute I read the wrong thing there. I thought I was only in a tiny bit of forward gear. Starting from standing still with quite a lot of weight here at 1.1% grade is not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. I think I had to go with a scenario and it took me a couple of practices.
Oh, dear. It doesn't seem to be doing anything up the front. Oh, no, here we go. Here we go. I think we woke up.
I think it was slipping, I think it was slipping at the front.
Oh, we found the go button. Come on.
He's slipping like mad at the front there. I think if you tap it off again and then... I think I tried it for about... I think I tried sort of 15.
Put the brakes on.
Yeah. There we go. Anyways, once you start moving and you get to a certain point, it will the AF stops slipping, and then you're like, yeah, right, we're off.
Don't want to jinx it, but have we made it? Well, have we made it? Go. No. I think it started slipping.
You can do it. Come on.
I've literally never had this problem before. What's it doing? It is slipping, as you say.
Yeah. So if you get it right, there you go, and again.
Oh, it's just...
It just doesn't like it. There you go. If you get it to about 15 and leave it at 15, it will go.
Wow.
Because I didn't realise how heavy the train was when I tried it. And I was like, oh my god, this is taking ages.
This is a very heavy train.
It's a very heavy train.
Okay, right, okay. I think we've...
I think you cracked it now.
Yeah. No, there's no one in the cab. This is actually a flaw which we only identified far too late. You can only have crew specified in one vehicle. So we can tell it where to put the crew, but we can only have one crew. So that's something we need to work on. It's a design flaw.
I think you'll be able to give it nearly everything now. You shouldn't say. Again.
Why have I got a really slippy Loco?
He just wanted to. He was like, I don't want to stream tonight, Matt.
Oh, it's just seriously. I did this earlier on and stormed up the bank. Let's just put it down to driver incompetence, as usual. Bring the cut-off back. It might fight a bit less.
Yeah, so someone said, who greased the rails?
I know. I'm probably just rushing it too much, you know. As Global says, take your time. And probably, normally I would be, whereas I'm all gung-ho. I've been thrashing Jubilees up and down Spirit of Steam today. And this is a different experience, I guess, as you could say.
Yeah. got great signal gantries and things on this as well.
Yeah, the signalling team, as with other routes, and particularly with the Liverpool crew, have gone to great pains to try and capture as much authenticity in terms of signalling, signal boxes, and other infrastructure on the railway. So, yes, you should hopefully find that all. There's a couple of interesting quirks. I'll try and remember to show one of them where it's come up on beta testers. It's come up on time and time again. These things come up where there's this signal. Matlock, I want to say it is, and it just looks like this really weird signal that someone's banged a nail into and attached to the end of a bridge, and it's actually it is intended to be that way. It's a signal for the guard, and it's controlled by the same wire as controls the signal for the driver at the other end, so that the guard knows what the driver is facing. So it's sort of weird. It's facing the opposite way.
Yeah. It's like because on Modern Railway they have a thing, you might see it chat on some platforms, you'll have a little thing underneath bridges or sort of near where the guard would stand on modern trains, and it says out, or it'll give a little like a signal, like a signal shape to say clear, so that if the guard can't see from where he is standing, then it will give it clear. So it's similar to that, isn't it, really?
Yeah. But yes, you should there's all sorts of quirks like that around the route.
Yeah, I know someone was asking about because the inside valve gear works on the 4F as well, doesn't it? I know some people were asking, can you show it? So, look at that.
What you'll find is with the new system, actually, when you operate controls, they're all being mimicked in the front. So as I operate the regulator, so it's being mimicked here, and as I operate the cut-off, it's being mimicked here. So literally both the locos are contributing force. It's not a weird hybrid thing.
Yeah. Just going
we've got plenty of boiler pressure, so I'm using the cut-off forward so that we can get a little more speed up.
Yeah, once you get the speed up, I think you're okay.
We're going now. We're going.
You're going.
It's all good.
You're going. It's all good. We're all fine. We're all fine. But yeah, and because you get quite a lot with the route, don't you, as well? So you get the you get the 3 steams, so you get the 4F, the Jubilee, and the 8F. You get quite a lot of rolling stock as well, don't you, Matt? So you get the things like the ICI.
The ICI is this massive monstrosity is the new one. Which is the limestone wagon. That's the big industry. This is one of the main reasons. I mean, this of the route today, most of this route doesn't exist, but this bit around here, serving the limestone industry, still exists. So everything down here doesn't. There is bits of this exist because there is a Peak Forest Preserve Railway, in terms of what you'd see in terms of this route, most of it doesn't exist now. But yeah, in terms of stock, there's also a lot of the stock from crew is present as well on this route to add variety.
Yeah. Just have a look. Yes, there is passenger for the route, and that'll be run by the Jubilee Washer Extreme.
The full line run we're doing will be on the Jubilee.
Yeah. I'll show you some of the passenger bits. Got turntables as well. Look at that. Get some good speed up now.
Just in time to stop.
Yeah, just come over the crest and you're like, oh, I've got to stop. Banking was quite a regular thing in the steam era anyway. You can see some in some cases they had over 3 or 4 locos behind one loco at the front just to try and get the train up the bank. One of the banks were the most famous with being the Licky. Actually had a purpose-built banker locomotive called Big Bertha. Where's my thing? I know you mentioned there was the scenario where you pick off and drop off freight. I know one of those, so I've got some questions from the. We had a Q&A earlier on the forums. Someone asked, are the pick up and drop off freight services included sort of services rather than just the scenario?
No,
well,
the freight is mostly just end-to-end run or line runs and shunting. So the no, there's no pickup drop off freight.
Yeah. And I noticed that a lot of people have been asking whether the 4F will be able to be used in Creators Club for livery
I've seen some absolute monstrosities from the forums, so I thoroughly regret that decision. Put it that way. Matt, you know who you are.
Yeah. Chat, I want to see a Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway blue one. That's what I want to see. Someone to do that. That would be quite cool. Another lovely station here. So here's you can see the 4F on that side there. You can see that that's sort of some of the shunting you do with the hoppers, isn't it, around here?
I think so, yeah. We've actually done something new with the characters on this route, and I'll try and call it out in a bit. You'll have to remind me. But we've done something new. We're starting to look at the character team. I've been saying the character team have been wanting to do more for a little while, and this is kind of the starting of the fruition of some of the things they've been looking into.
Now, I was going to say, Matt, when you stop, don't go by the stop at location, go by the signal. Because I learnt this the other day.
Oh, yeah. Totally wasn't paying attention to signals. Signals are optional. They're just suggestive hints.
I know some people are asking about will there be a steam layer on the West Summerset, including the 4F, because obviously there was a 4F based at West Summerset. Will that layer on now, or is that something you're looking into?
Not something we've got plans to do at the minute, but definitely something I'd like to see. It's kind of we haven't used any of the steam stuff on West Summerset yet, and I'm kind of, as with everybody else, kind of desperate to see brain's not working. A steam timetable for West Summerset.
Yeah.
Uncouple your Loco from the train. This is going to be where we leave this one off, I think, and move on.
Yeah. There we go. There you go. He's off. There you go.
He's off, leaving us behind.
Yeah.
No, it's not me in the game, Chris. The game doesn't need that. Let me see if I can see anything down here before we move on. Otherwise, I am going to forget. And then I'll be sad later on because character team have been doing some fun work. Now, where is it? Not her. Oh, here we go.
There she is.
Do you remember the character diorama tech that we did for Rush Hour? So they're starting to use the character diorama tech. So they modeled new characters. So we've got an older person for the first time in the game. Not everybody is in their 30s. With some more, and they're trying to look at doing some more bespoke animations. So we've got somebody who's reading their their weekly Sunday train watching newspaper. Failing this ability to change the page, but we won't be picky. And there are others, but we'll see them at other stations. So you'll see different older people sitting around at the various stations. It actually adds quite a nice bit of variety compared to what's been there before. So I'm quite pleased with that, and it's kind of the start of things to come, really.
Yeah.
Those passengers will sit there for the session. They won't get up. But like all the dioramas, they're not going to be the same each time either. So there's an element of randomness to it. But the idea is, because we want to do potentially more advanced dioramas later on, but it means we can have someone sitting there with suitcases, we can have someone with a pushchair, all sorts of things we could potentially do with that. So first step was also to introduce them, to build some new characters as well.
Yeah.
Right, what was next? The the light Loco
Light
8F.
It's a new one.
Oh, I don't do words at this time of day. What did I say it was?
Just light. It was the
7 something 21 maybe. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Drive this Loco to the turntable and prepare it for next service. No, it wasn't that one. 820 service to the quarry. That'll do. I'm going to change it to custom weather though, because I did this earlier on. It kept going foggy, which is not good for a demo. Armadar, yeah, passengers and TSW work on events. So what happens is when you stop and you open the doors, there's first an event to unload, to start unloading, and then after an amount of seconds, there's then an event to start loading. And they can happen concurrently, but it just means that it tends to get people off the train first before it loads people onto the train, or certainly start that process. So this is north of Buxton. This is the engine shed north of Buxton.
I haven't seen this bit.
No, this is why I wanted to show it off a bit, because I hadn't seen this bit until I was like, are we going to show everything, or are we going to show off the route? So let me I have a fly over Buxton Station as we go past it. Now, I do seem to recall that needs changing. That needs changing. And then we are on to signal to track. I won't spend time in the cab because, well, A, you've seen it all before, and B, we're here for the route.
Yeah. I know someone had asked about the number in the chat, on the Q&A had asked about the 4F number range. What is there a number range as well for the 8F and the Jubilee, or are they the same?
I don't think they've changed. I know the number range for the 4F is there's 6 numbers, and they're based on the locos that were based at Rowsley 17D for the time period modelled. So these are, the 4Fs that would be there, which is 44327, 44413, 44429, 44556, 44558, and 44602.
Thank you. Lovely.
There are tons and tons and tons of 4Fs. So the question, I guess, is why only those 6? And it's partly, again, because of them being based at 17D, which is on this route, but also there are so many variations of the 4F that are all slightly different dome types, chimney types, left-hand and right-hand drive, all sorts of things.
Yep.
So we've got this, the type that we have modelled that was based at 17D.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's the same with the 8Fs, isn't it? The 8Fs and the Jubilees, they all had different variations, didn't they? Different tenders depending on what time period and things like that.
That's the coach sidings over there. Now, before we go completely by it, don't worry about the fact I'm over speeding. We just don't want to be here all day. Let me use number 8 camera. This is Buxton. Over here.
So that's the LNWR station.
This is the MR station here. This is the LNWR station over here. So you had 2 operators in the same area, and so they ended up having 2 stations there that competed. But this is the Midland Railway. So this is our station where we'll be going. Right, let's stick with the train now, because it's quite a pretty journey actually as we come out of the
It's
Buxton
lovely,
area.
very scenic.
So means we can give it some boot.
Yeah. It's very different to Liverpool Crew, isn't it?
This route is incredibly different. One of the reasons we wanted to do this, to be honest, is a real change of pace from the Crew line.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's your scenery wise and your gradient wise, and you've got in and out of tunnels, over viaducts. You've got the famous Monsell Viaduct, haven't you, as well?
Yeah.
Along the route. So yeah, it's, if you remember the BR posters with come to Derbyshire, isn't it? I think something like that, and you see the viaduct, and that's from this. You know. Well, there's loads of people from British Ace's stream. How are we doing? How are we all? How is British Ace? How are we doing?
I'm guessing Restream has decided not to work with YouTube because I'm logged into Restream's chat and I'm only seeing Twitch. So, yay Twitch people, I'm with you. Sorry, YouTubers.
Are we YouTube?
I rely on Jamie to pass on the YouTube questions until Restream wakes up.
On the Move has asked, what's the total route length? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, no.
See if I've got it in my notes. I think I probably do. Let me double check.
A lot of downhill.
It's 38 miles.
38 miles.
38 miles. 30. Yeah. So there's 14 stations, with 4 with disused, and the time period is the early 1960s. I think it's 1961, isn't it? Something like that.
I can't remember. It's another one that's got a fairly, like most routes, it's got a fairly fussy time frame because the railways are always constantly evolving. I know sometimes it looks like they're always part of the furniture and never changing, but when you go into the detail, it's amazing how much changes almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, because they always had different traffic coming in, didn't they? And rolling stock. That's cool. I like that as well. Go over the river. It's brilliant.
Yeah, the team have done this thing with moss on the algae cover on the river, which looks really nice too.
Ingo's asked, how long does an end-to-end run take to drive? Well, we are.
We'll be doing that so you can measure it. I would guess an hour-ish.
Yeah.
You've got a heavy train longer because it's quite a steep run.
Yeah.
Lots of classic English countryside on this.
Yeah. It's a very sort of British steam era route, isn't it? You know,
yeah.
it's you know, it feels it's lovely. You know, all the semaphore signals and bits and pieces.
I mean, the entire purpose of doing Ambergate to Chinley, and specifically those bits, is because of being able to just really focus in on this beautiful section of the line in the Peak area.
Yeah.
Below Ambergate, the line through Ambergate to Derby is pretty bland, and would be pretty empty, to be fair. So it's going to be this is the bit of the run that you're wanting to do. This is so it allowed the team to really focus their efforts, and hopefully you can see that they've achieved that.
I've got another question about the 4F. Does that go on Liverpool Crew?
I mean, you can scenario planner it any way you like, but we haven't had any chance to update layers and so forth for the 4F yet, no. Yeah.
And I know that someone had asked if the 4F will come sort of in scenario planner comes with coaching stock. I think it does, because I have had a go with that.
I've not checked that.
Yeah. Someone's asked for the whistle.
So there's, other than changes to improve physics and so forth and any bug fixes, there's no fundamental changes to the 8F and the Jubilee, and all of the changes that have been made have already been pushed out to Liverpool Crew and to West Cornwall Steam, so they should all three be largely in parity now. Slowing down because we're at the junction now.
You got 10 mile an hour speed limit coming up.
Yeah, it's for the curve. I'm just going to get onto the curve and then we'll stop, because we'll be coming up. When we do the mainline run, we're going to basically come up here and go all the way up there. So what I wanted to do is to show this bit of the line.
Yeah.
Just loving the detail that's been put in. Absolutely stunning.
It's great. Yes, Simon, yes, it is part of the Monsell Trail. Yeah, it is that route, exactly. I've walked it once, and it's a lovely area. And I have been on the I think they call the Peak Rail. I have been on Peak Rail before they extended into Matlock, Matlock itself. But yeah, it's a lovely area.
Chris, this is the drive at the leaning out view. Is that not what you can already do, Chris? For those of you who remember, Southern Bell camera.
Southern Bell.
It's on the 4F as well.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I'm doing an external camera like this, so you can see a whole load of train steam engine bulkhead anytime you like. But
yeah.
Yeah, use the left and right arrows to cycle through the cameras, Chris. So if you're on console, use the camera shift and then it's left or right D-pad.
I know someone had asked about the physics difference. What's the physics changes? I don't know if you've got that to hand. If not, I have, Matt.
So the physics changes, from memory and from what James told me originally, were along the lines of previously when valves opened and closed, they did so instantly, which it meant that you used a lot more steam because actually more of the cycle was spent with the valve opening, and actually really less, and there'd be more pushback. So they now model a finite time for the valves to open and close, which means you use considerably less steam for largely the very similar effect. So it's a much more realistic simulation of that side of things. I think there's a number of other things that have been tweaked and improved, but that's kind of one of the most fundamental bits of it. And it means that now, for example, you'll find that you can use higher cutoff settings than you were previously. What does that mean? That means that for a same regulator, for a higher cutoff setting, and for the same steam usage, you'll get more power out onto the track.
As Jeremy Glasson says, more power.
Well, it's like one of the things that I found was that when I've been trying, I got up to 90 miles an hour today on Liverpool Crew. Bit of a discussion going on in the forums about if that was possible. There you go. We've got to. I'm going to stop here because we're going to be running up this bit of line in probably an hour or so's time when we get back here. Yeah, so, if you're running out of crew, for example, and you're going up that steep gradient, going up to Edge Hill, I find myself quite often having to back off the power so that I don't break the speed limit, because, of course, I'm really good at adhering to speed limits, as you've noticed, no doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, laughing so hard, come on.
Sorry.
Yeah, so it's I don't. You'll find the train is a lot more grunt on it than it had previously, but they're still difficult to drive. There are still people who are struggling a bit. One thing I will say though is, for those of you who are not 1000% familiar with what you are doing, you need to come into this one, I think, steam firing mode. I know you'll be tempted to say, but I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go to manual mode. If you do not know exactly what's going on with that, please go to automatic mode. Or if you're having any problems, please try manual mode. Other way around. Please try automatic mode and see if the problems go away. Oh, I don't know. They're just words and I'm just saying them. Yeah, please use automatic mode and see if you get on. Because if you find that works better for you, basically what a lot of people are doing is they're putting it into manual, and because there is no HUD for firing, because we haven't done it yet, we have no HUD for firing, you don't know that you're running out of coal. And what happens is you look over here and you see the fireman doing her thing like she is, and actually in manual mode this is just an animation. You must press the F key to open it, and that's what puts coal in the fire, and if you don't do that, the fire goes out. We also manage the difference between burning coal and warming coal. So if you run out of burning coal because you've just shoved a load of cold coal on the top, and it's not lit yet or not hot enough to actually have an impact, the fire has technically gone out, even though you've got coal in the fire, and that would give you an end of game as well. So lots to track, and unless you know exactly what you're doing, then I would switch to automatic mode. That would be my guidance. Or if you're just having where this is this thing we find where you'll be driving along and suddenly it'll say service terminated or something like that, which is not the same as the AI SPAD problem. That should be fixed in Crew now. But if you're just getting like a service terminated, probably means something's going wrong with firemen. Switch to automatic and see if it goes away. And then let us know, bluntly. If you're having a problem and it's not going away, particularly in automatic, let us know, because I'd like to know more. But it should fix it. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, hopefully it does.
Okay.
So
Should we 10 and 10?
Yeah, we 10 and 10 now. Sounds good to me.
Punch it. I don't get to hear the audio for this, so.
He's good.
Feels like we were just here. .4F is just lovely, isn't it? And the key reason we chose the 4F was because we wanted something smaller. We'd done sort of two bigger engines with the Jubilee and the 8F, and there was some discussion about should we make a black 5 for this one, but a couple of things on that. One, feels like it's just a black Jubilee, bluntly. It's not, but it feels like it would be seen as too low of a goal. It's also too similar to a Jubilee, same to drive it and so forth, very similar to drive it. So even though it's perhaps a more versatile train than the 4F, we thought the 4F would add a bit more variety to the whole experience, and to just not to this but also to just the collection of steam that you've got. We worked to get the 4F.
And the 4F is more of a branch Loco. It's more of a sort of go anywhere, do anything. Small passenger services. It's and they ended up everywhere as well. They're a Loco, a bit like the 8F in some respects. That they ended up everywhere in the region. We used to have them locally where I was, where I live. They used to end up locally down this way in Norfolk. So they're an interesting machine.
Well, it's one of the BR standards again. That was another criteria for picking a Loco, was we want something which is not just usable here or on a limited set of routes. The BR standards, so we've already got the Jubilee and you've got the 8F as locomotives which travelled, and the 4F is another good example of a locomotive that's travelled well. So these become locos that build out future steam collections rather than just being point solutions. So whenever we pick locos, we are trying to veer towards trains which naturally build up a collection.
Yeah. I know some people have asked about the audio for the 4F as well.
Yes, so there's an interesting challenge getting the audio for a 4F, because how many of them are in Steam at the moment, Jamie?
None.
And haven't been for a while, and probably won't be for some while.
Yeah. So I think there's only one currently, two in overall, but one's slightly longer than the other.
Yeah, so it's a challenge, but we don't want to let that kind of thing stop us making the right train that we want to make for a route, because otherwise we'd be limited in so many things. Like we'd never make any US trains. It's finding solutions to these problems, and you kind of came to the rescue actually on this one, Jamie, if I remember rightly.
I did, yes. So I was lucky. I had been to Keighley and Worth Valley where the 4F recently came out of service. I think it was 493. Hang on, I've got to find what number it is now. I've forgotten the number. 43924. Was in service at the Keighley, and I'd recorded a couple of videos, and I gave the audio over to Matt, and I was like, "Hi, Matt, I have audio. Haha." Have a go.
So we handed all those videos over to Mr. Fisk, who was doing the setup and simulation. And I know Ed had some resources of his own as well that he had in his archive. So, a sort of a combination of those things, Ed was able to put together quite a nice sound set actually for the 4F. So, very happy with how it came out. And again, it just goes to show it's if there's clever people who've got a good archive of stuff. It's like all of the signalling and so forth. There's a couple of people in the signalling team just have archives of material from around time and around the around the country. In fact, one of them even has material from other countries. Just collects it and just this is what enables these projects to be done. Yeah. We're waffling about the training. The videos moved on to the route, and there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I'm going to let you enjoy the visuals of the route. I'll title this screen "Big Yard." I love this video, the way that they've done it with the newspapery feel. That's really cool.
And the TV, yeah. And we will be uploading it separately. Don't panic, chat. We will be uploading it separately as well.
There's some pretty impressive viaducts and bridges and so forth along the route as well. It's a very hilly route, not just in terms of the gradients that you'll be traversing the train, but also in terms of the surrounding gradients around you as well.
As I say, like that section, you've got like tunnel, bridge, tunnel, or embankments. So it's very in and out,
Mikey, will it sub into the SOS? No, it will not. We haven't done a 4F layer on Spirit of Steam. Something I want to do. Same as with a Somerset Railway, but we've got no plans for that at this point. You say it's versatile loco, freight and passenger. Indeed, Chris. And in fact, this version of the 4F, I believe, is the one that has the steam heating needed for passenger as well. So even though it's a 4F, I believe it's got the required bits and pieces for passenger heating as well. There's quarries, particularly around Tunstead area, but you saw some various sidings and mines and so forth that we passed just in the bit of the route we've seen so far. See some in the background there as well.
Yeah, no, it's one of the scenarios you actually load the ICI hoppers, don't you?
Yeah, you do that quite a bit in the service mode as well.
Yeah.
It's quite tricky because it's on quite a gradient. Yeah, this particular thing is, but this is one of the loaders, and it's on a bit of a gradient. So, and if you've not tried a steam engine yet, the brakes are rubbish. You can't just hold a particular level of braking; it's all over the place. So it's actually quite a challenge to load it, especially as it gets heavier and heavier as it goes. So,
yeah, here we go. Here's the banking and the double heading, and
as demonstrated so well previously.
Yes, exactly. There you go. There we go.
Laughing at me again.
No, it's well. You laughed yourself, so you can't say I didn't.
It's a trap.
It's a trap, very big trap.
No, it's good to see the banking and the double heading working properly at last.
Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to have a go with the double heading. Definitely.
Well, it's something we didn't quite get to on. This is the double heading. This is something else. I don't know where this is from though, because there's no brake fan on this, so I'm not quite sure what's happening here. And this is picking up the wagons to bring them back. That could be picking the wagons up to bring them back.
Yeah.
This is the Royal Train scenario.
Yeah.
Not the entire Royal Train scenario, you understand. But it does demonstrate some of these interactive NPCs that you'll have seen previously, but they're being used a bit more actively now on this one. And it then asks you to set up all of the Christmas tree of lights on the front, which marks you as a Royal Train.
Yeah.
There's your double header in all its glory.
Yeah. And you've also got a loco that clears the line in front of you, haven't you, as well, which you communicate with.
It's quite good. There's way too much power there for me. I find myself thinking, speed limit, schmeed limit.
Yeah. just in the roof, and you know.
Chinley Gala. So this is the one that one other gameplay team did, and took a simple idea and absolutely ran with it. And when I say ran with it, it's like ran off and did something completely wacky with it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
You may not start on the train. There's a thing where sometimes the game hasn't loaded the train yet, but in that case, it will put you on the platform and everything will carry on working. But hopefully it'll start you on the train. But if it doesn't because of load times, that's not a problem. The scenario will continue. So that's the station master.
Yeah.
And this is one of the sections where you walk over, and there's usually someone at the front of the Loco that can tell you the history of the train or something. And then here, where you can choose to do a thing, or you can say, "Oh no, I don't want to do that right now. I'll go and have a look." I think there's 3 different things to do. So in that, it kind of, if you remember CS6 Heavy Hall, it reminds you a little bit of Clear Cut, but this is really, really neat way that they've done it.
There we go.
Right, back to the game. That's brilliant. Top marks to the video editor that made that, who did that in short, sharp time today.
Yes. Yeah, they did. No, it was very good. Well done.
Dynamic NPC dialogue. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Link it to ChatGPT, and who knows what would end up happening.
It could say random and weird things. You never know, do you?
Right. Okay. What are we doing now? We are doing the first of our. We're going to go the Ambergate to Matlock.
Yeah.
Now, in my original things, Jamie, can you look back up the chat that we had earlier on and see if you can remind me what the times of the service? Because I did tell you initially what the times were, and then forgot to paste them into the instructions with the times. So,
I don't know the times. It says Ambergate to Matlock, Matlock to Chinley. Where did you put the times?
Scroll up a little bit.
Is it in the same document, or is that in the? Sorry, is that in the chat?
Let's go with that one. Actually, that might do it. Let's do the semi-fast Manchester. We're only going to take this one as far as Ambergate, so it's a stopping service, 3 or 4 stops to Matlock, and then we do a semi-fast from Matlock up. So it'll give you a broad idea of what to expect. Let's
it's 0729 and 12 and 12:31.
There you go. See.
So you had it sorted. You're there already. There you go.
I'm only part incompetent. How long did this route take to develop, guy? I honestly don't know off the top of my head. Similar to most routes, I think. I mean, this was a lot faster than Spirit Steam to develop because we didn't have to start from scratch. But it's shorter, I think, as well. But the scenery is so different, and there's so much to do to build it. So.
How many platforms has Ambergate got now? I can't remember. I think it's
now. I've no idea now. This is quite a photographed section, actually. This bit over here, especially with that bridge there, it's quite iconic. No, it's all the platforms. These days, I don't think. I think it's like it's a little bit about here, and that's about it. It's a bit like McKinlith, which I think used to be Barmouth Junction, which was a big triangle like this, and now it's a little bus stop that a DMU stops at once in a while.
So 6 platforms in this then, I think.
Again, I'm going to sit outside so that we can enjoy the beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
The bright yellow truck. Get the doors.
Someone's asked, what is the longest route in the game?
Castle Würzburg.
Oh, there we go.
It's about 180 kilometres, I think. Why is the truck not pink? You know, sometimes the art team don't follow what I say, and they want to go with authentic and realistic instead of what Matt wants, which is probably a good thing, to be fair. It's a testament to them, you know, knowing who to listen to. But I will make everything pink one day.
We just do Matt's route, and it'll be pink. No.
Pink signals. Well, we do French route because then all the signals are pink. You
see. Yeah. Yoshi Train Spotter 35 has asked, is there express and non-stop services for the Jubilee on the route? Well, I suppose the Royal Train is a non-stop, isn't it?
There are, there is, and what you'll find actually is currently there aren't that many services that stop at Ambergate. You'll notice I'm not doing a full line run, and it's because there is no full line run. This one stops at Matlock before it becomes express the rest of the route. Not at Matlock. Yeah, it might be at Matlock. Can't remember. It goes to a certain point and then becomes express. And other services are express through Ambergate up to Darley Dale or something like that, where they then become an occasional stop before they go up to Chinley. So you'll find that sort of there's no actual end-to-end full run. And I want to make a version of the timetable which lets you do that. But yeah, this is based on the actual operating timetable from '63 or whenever it was that that it's based on. There's no local services for the 4F. There's only passenger services run by the Jubilee. This kind of relates back to the discussion in the roadmap about having the question between the authenticity versus more to do, and finding the right scale of what that is. That large ejector closed. Stop wasting steam.
Yep.
Get some speed up. We get a lot of fire. We need to get that fire nice and hot, because then we'll start generating lots of steam, and then we can speed up even more.
Yep.
We've got to be careful how much we mortgage the boiler to get there, though. That's the thing.
Yep.
It's also worth remembering when you're trying to drive up the hill, these hills, it's tempting to say my boiler pressure's getting a bit low, so I should back off the throttle, the regulator. And actually, the chuff is actually a good source of air that helps your fire get hotter. Sometimes you'll actually find giving it a little bit of regulator, and actually this chuff coming up here, if you put the thing sideways here, you get airflow through the dampers down under here somewhere, up through there, and then out here as well. So it draws air across the fire just by having it the regulator open.
Yeah. Yeah, because when the regulator's shut, that's why the blower opens, so you can get a good air source over the top of the fire.
Exactly,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a very interesting video that has been done, that was done back in the Steam days, about how to manage your fire. So I think it was done probably late 50s, early 60s. I think it was a BR video. And it explains, you know, how to open dampers, and I think it was like a footplate crew sort of like how to manage your fire.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. And another thing I recently got is the BR Engineman Handbook. That's a really good book. If you there is a more, so they've said that you can get the one back from the 50s and 60s, but there's one that you can get which is more modern English, and that's really interesting.
It's what they used to call the Little Black Book, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
They're red now, I think, but they used to be known as the Black Book or something, and lots of very useful information in there. It's very technical, but it's because I don't think it's a massive book. It's kind of like this similar sort of size to like a Ladybird book or something like that. But for those of you that remember such things, right, coming up to Whatstandwell.
It's an interesting name, though. I hope it stands up well. I'm sure it does.
I was testing these scenarios earlier on, and I kept missing the stations because I was having so much fun. Hopefully I've got that out of my system now.
Yeah.
I'm not promising anything.
No.
But the fact I'm not breaking the speed limit at this point is definitely a good sign by comparison.
lovely looking station. I love all the on the footbridges along here. You know, the colour of the footbridges.
It's all classic LMS footbridges, aren't they?
Yeah, and how all the... There's the great thing about BR, you know, sort of all stations in the time period, how everything matched. So you had the, you know, the footbridge matched with the lamp posts, with the station signage, with the seats. It was all matching colours.
Nope, that's not one of our new characters. Dang it, where's the new characters? You know what, when I come to look at the new characters, they're not here. Nope, old characters. All old characters. They're going to make a liar out of me now. Oh, trust me, there's new characters on the route. Yeah, we've kind of seen... Well, we haven't seen you, but we've seen this. So...
Yeah.
They're obviously sharing newspapers.
Yeah.
Bits of stuff on the platforms, which just brings it all to life a little bit, I think. It's quite a nice scene, isn't it?
Yeah, portal trolleys.
A couple of new outfits as well. It's the 60s after all.
It's some great, yeah, it looks really... Yeah, as you can see. Oh wow, look at that detail on the bottom of the lamppost.
Yeah. No, like I said, the team absolutely went crazy on this though. I think you can really tell when the team have got into what they're doing a lot. It's because the level of detail just goes through the roof. Really is good. Get those doors shut. Cut off back.
Get the door shut.
Brakes released. Ejectors open. Bit of power in the cylinders to get us started.
Hello, Victory Works. Yes, it does remind. Yeah, it does look very much like Oakworth. Yes, it does.
All right, Pete. I'm guessing you're on YouTube because I can't see you in my chat.
Yes, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Let's get the cut-off shots. Cut-off shot? That's the cylinder box, man.
Cylinder box, yeah.
Words. I tell you, it's just words.
Words.
.7 miles to Cromford. Reminder of the map. We're out of the tunnel, we can come back here and have a look again. Look at the steam engine, you're either one side of the smoke or the other side. Oh, here we go, here we go. Except we're now too low. Go to the front.
I always do it like a driver's eye view and sit in the front of the Loco, so you can like look at it from the engine's eye view, front of the smoke box. That's what I do sometimes. I enjoy that.
Yeah, well, the 3 camera's very good at being able to just let you position it where you want it to be. Got the fire warmed up now. You can see for exactly the same settings. Even though I'm gaining speed, we're now gaining boiler pressure as well. So the fire is heated up because it's getting the air through the dampers.
Crunchy's asked about the lower left gauges. So you've got the bottom one that's sort of jiggling about. You can see it moving about. That's your sort of regulator, sort of indicator, isn't it? It's the steam going into the cylinders.
Bottom one is the steam chest pressure, which is
steam chest pressure,
the amount of pressure in here.
Yeah.
Basically, it's this bottom gauge is really what matters when it comes to how fast you're going. Not the regulator. The regulator is how the steam flows through up here and then down into the steam chest, and how fast that steam goes in. What's in the steam chest is actually what's getting put onto the wheels.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm good. Couldn't remember if it was steam chest or not. Sorry, my bad. And then the top gauge is your pressure gauge. So red line is it's when the safety valves lift. That's where the
Go over here, you'll see the same red line on the main boiler pressure gauge. Oh, hello, I'm in someone's way here.
yeah.
Going too fast. Maybe slowing down soon. We should probably think about that.
Yeah. Let's stop at Cromford.
This was the one I blew straight through earlier on because it's a bit of a longer gap, so you can get some. Oh, hello! I've had the large ejector open this entire time. Careless.
I think you did.
Too much braking now. This is the over panicking part of the slowing down.
Yeah. Gotta make sure you stop in the right place.
I just blow through the station and you know. But
It's like, sorry guys, sorry.
So. Really pretty route. I like all the undulating terrain on it. It's just more interesting to look at. Crew is a nice route for getting some good speed up, and there's some interesting gradients on it as well, and massive yards and so forth. But this is definitely my favourite of the steam routes of the two. I can see me creating some of my own scenarios on this one. All these lovely sidings.
We're getting some lovely comments. People are saying they're very impressed, so it's good. Very good. Glad you're liking it, chat.
Coming up to Cromford.
Yep. That's alright, we're BR late, it's fine. British Rail late, it's fine.
It's fine, this is early.
Yeah. It's only on time when it's 10 minutes late, there you go.
Still had it open. What am I like? Don't leave the large ejector open, folks. It doesn't make it easier to maintain steam.
Yep. It's a nice mix of signals as well, because you've got colour light and semaphores, haven't you?
Yes. Right.
Got flowers on the platform as well. Got to find if you can find more characters.
Ah, walking sticks. There's some more.
There you go.
They're just not that interested. These are not impressed. Not impressed at all. These are like seen it all before. When I was younger, it was easier. Right. Door is locked. A bit in the steam chest.
We go.
So you notice the steam chest there, you see is holding pressure like that. If I open the drains, it will vent. Close it again.
Yeah.
And I can use the regulator to control how much goes in. So I shut the regulator off a little bit. And then as it chuffs, you'll see it jump down. And you can see it using the steam out of the steam chest, essentially. And so you can control what this does. This is how much you're actually going to be accelerating by. So if your wheel's spinning, it's not necessarily because your regulator, although that's what controls it. This is actually where you need to worry about. And also, when you're throttling up, there is no point putting more pressure in the steam chest than there is in... once it's hitting the maximum, that's it. Opening the regulator anymore isn't going to help.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much at maximum there, and I'm only on 27%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as you speed up, as you adjust the cutoff, all of these things will help optimize the use of steam and so forth. If you're new to this bit, this up and down arrow is whether the boiler pressure is going up or down. Because sometimes it changes very slowly, so the indicator's there just to give you an idea. When I'm driving, it goes down really quickly though, so that's fun. But you'll notice
it's 14 stations. There you go. Someone had asked 14 stations. Someone's asked, does the cab have a light? Yes, it does. It has a lamp on the back that is lit.
Have a lamp on the back. Except I can't see what I'm doing. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Ta-da!
We'll talk later on about firemen or fire people that do firing in tunnels as a separate thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Get a blowback.
We don't have blowback simulation, so it's fine, but it's also not fine.
Yeah.
Matlock is coming up next, so we just managed to get the fire warmed up, and it's time to stop again.
Stop again, yeah. Look at that, rocky embankments. Look at that.
It's lovely.
Yeah, LaserJet. I had to do some firing over the flat the other day. That was rather interesting.
Houses up the side of the hill there.
Yeah. I like how you've got like the brake vans as well, just waiting to be in the sidings there, so that they can form good sets, can't they? Just there.
Get some people out of their skins.
Yep.
Good.
Again.
Useless.
Naughty Matt.
Just going to say again, when I was driving on my own earlier on, I was just like, yeah, I'm nailing this, I'm closing this all the time, I'm glad I'm getting this right. And then here I am on the stream, wrong every single time. Mind.
Mark has said, I wish the game had smell-o-vision.
Oh.
That'd be quite fun, actually.
Yeah. You could bottle that. That would be a good product.
Do you know you can actually buy a candle that's got steam?
North Yorkshire Moors.
Yes, they do. Yes, you can. North Yorkshire Moors sell steam-scented candles.
Smells like steam spirit, I think they call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite funny.
And also, there's you can. I think one of the rail tour companies did edible coal as well.
That's just disturbing.
I wanted to try it. I went on a rail tour once, and I was like, "Have you got any edible coal?" And they were like, "No, we sold out." I was like, "Oh, okay." It must be very popular.
Right, so I'll shut the doors, but then we're going to end this one, and we're going to start our next one, which will be here, so that we can then run to Chinley. So we've done Ambergate to Matlock now, and we're now going to go from what time was it? 12 something.
Let me get the time up.
12:31.
It was 12 something.
It's good.
12
it's good.
something.
12:31.
It's the one.
Back in the middle of. Oh, Independence Day. Excellent. Right. Let's do that. Right. And we'll run this all the way up to Chinley.
Oh, and also chat, may the 4th be with you.
Not forgivable.
Yeah, so this is actually where the Preserved Railway starts. So this is from Matlock. This is actually part of the Preserved Railway. So the actually where the Jubilee is sitting now is where the preservation platform is, and on the opposite side is where the mainline platform is. If I remember right.
Let's get the door shut. Cut off full forward. Drains are open. And this one, it doesn't stop quite as much. Go via Darleydale, Roseley, Bakewell, and we're going to go to Millersdale, which will be a 20-minute run. However, let us see, as I am reminded, what we can find.
Ah, yes.
So, as we go down here, can't remember actually what the collectibles are, so I'm just going to walk into stuff randomly. These? No. That.
Oh, that chalkboard, maybe?
No.
No.
Yes, I could have planned this in advance, I know. Then you'd wonder who I was.
You'll find one.
I'm looking for one in particular because I'm peckish. But I'm going to be denied, I can tell. This has got denial written all over it. A bit like a certain river on the map.
That one, pick them up.
Dang it.
Are you looking for your tea?
Yeah.
Oh, there's one.
We found a map.
Ah, there we go. There's
We
one.
found a map.
There's...
Everyone's like, will you get on with it? Fine. We'll have a look at the next station and see if we can find some tea.
Yeah. Nice look around Matlock, though.
It is really nice. So a lot of these stations are really nice just to walk around and explore.
Yeah.
Open that.
Just sit there and watch the trains come through.
Get in there.
I love the signal box here as well. It's on stilts. Look at that.
Yeah, that one there.
It's all about train spotters. Someone gave me some original Ian Allen train spotters books. I've got British Railway diesels from 1959 to 1960, and then I've got British Railways locomotives electrical multiple units, which is the first edition from summer of 1961.
Come on, fire, warm up.
David, I hope it's your shit tea.
Here it comes. Boiler pressure's about to come back.
There you go. Yeah, Nigel, yeah, the Jubilees are lovely looking locos. Oh, there's a question. What's the max speed limit on the route? Do you know that?
Well, at the moment it's 80 miles an hour. I can't imagine it going much higher than that.
No.
I'm not sure what speed you'd actually get to on the route, I've got to admit.
Yeah, unless you were doing a non-stop, really. I mean, it's because it's quite a heavy gradient into places.
You can create a scenario planner and you know, just don't do what I did. I did a scenario plan with the 4F and 20 from Ambergate to Chinley, and it's a pretty tough run with that little 4F in certain places. But I kept it going, kept the boiler pressure, you know, doing well, and I was quite pleased with myself. Dare I say, chuffed. And what I'd forgotten, because of my inexperience on the route, was once you get past the Peak Forest, it's then a downhill run to Chinley with an unfitted train. And I was doing 70 as I went through Chinley, screaming out of the cab window, going, "Hey, help!" Because I had no hope.
You did everything.
I forgot the basic rule of if you're a fitted train, you ain't going very fast, so stop trying.
Yeah.
Right, let's push that cutoff forward so we don't waste steam.
Darley Dale, now going through.
You will now see in a face full of smoke.
Yep.
Literally. Level crossing gates that are working with cars crossing the tracks. Look at that, you go, advanced features on this route.
Yeah, you do, yeah. Look at that. Death Misser, yes, you can make your own scenarios in Scenario Planner. So yeah, you could have a go making your own sort of scenarios.
Got a fixed distance here because of the upcoming speed reduction.
It's the big yards there, quite a big yard there.
Turntable.
Yeah. Large ejector open again.
I know. This time
What
it's
are you
complaining
doing?
at me. This game's just saying to me, you know what? I give up with you. Some of the shunting happens here. That's one of the shunting service trains.
That's interesting how the line sort of is, you can see the gradient difference between the yard and line there.
Yeah, you'll see lots of gradient differences at various points, and even over there you can see that's higher. And when you started at Buxton there was the tracks were almost at all different heights.
Yeah.
It's one of the challenges for the track laying team to try and recreate that stuff. This is Roseley.
Another nice looking station.
Got a water tank there.
Got a good shed that comes off the side of the platform as well. Oh, there's the double signal there. So a double signal. The same post as both lines on one post.
Right. what I find is if I want to keep some power on, but also build my boiler pressure back up, because I've clearly not been watching what I was doing, I'll drop the cutoff back to minimum, and that's normally enough to encourage your boiler pressure back up without losing much, if any, speed. Sometimes you can even keep accelerating at a small amount with minimum cutoff, and then once you've recovered your boiler pressure again, you can then push it forward to 25-30 again. Go via Bakewell, which is the other collectible. One of the other collectibles is the cherry Bakewells. Although I can't remember whether they changed it. Originally they were done as cherry Bakewells, like your Kipling's. But obviously Bakewell tart does not look like that.
Yes, doesn't. No.
Can't remember whether they got changed to be Bakewell tarts or whether or not they are like a Kipling one with icing and a cherry on it. Boiler's blowing off again, so let's put the cart off back forward. Regulator open a bit and spend some pressure. We haven't got to stop for a while, so
yeah, we use some pressure.
So this is a tunnel.
There is an engine there.
Lots to see here.
Yeah. Quite a long one as well. Must be curved at either end. So someone in the YouTube chat has asked, how many times have you derailed, Matt?
See, that's a trick question, because if I say none, I'll derail any minute now. But to date, on this, none.
Hi Salva, how are we doing?
Another thing, I've called it out on Liverpool Crew, but it's worth calling out here again, is distance signals, the yellow ones. Pay attention to them. Distance signals can be fixed into an on position as a horizontal for various reasons, not just based on what's going on in signals ahead. So you might be tempted to think, oh, that distance broken. It's not. It's probably there because of a speed reduction or a curve or something like that. There are multiple reasons. Essentially, it's a reminder to the driver to slow down, to prepare, and so forth. It's not literally just a mechanical linkage of what the next signal is doing, as I know some people think. The other thing is that a distant sometimes are grouped with multiple stop signals. And it represents the state of both of the stop signals. So if either of them are in an on position, i.e. stop, then the distant will be showing an on. So the trap you can fall into, so this is a distant in the off position, which is good, it tells me the line ahead is clear. But the trap you can fall into is you go past the distant, which is in a horizontal on position, and the next stop signal you come up to is off. So you think, oh, it must be all good then. So you power up on your regulator with your regulator, and the very next signal straight after it is red, and you're spat. And that the distant was warning you about both of those signals, so that it can, So pay attention to your distance. That behaviour is implemented in TSW. Bakewell.
Yeah. There you go. There's the signal. Look, you've got two on one post there. There you go.
Where's my tea?
Have a look on the other side.
Hey, there you go. There you
there
go.
It
it's
is.
A Kipling Bakewell, look, not a traditional Bakewell tart. I'll complain on all yours behalf to the team that did it. Yeah.
What sort of research did the team have to do? What would you say is the most complex thing that they had to find with the route?
I mean, it's the same with this route. It's no different to any other. It's getting hold of the research, particularly for signalling and technical aspects of the route. Finding, I think, the M who was looking after a lot of the signalling side of it, along with the rest of the team, while he was digging through archives to get information on signalling and so forth, also found something like 1,500, 2,000 photographs from magazine articles and so forth of various bits around the line. So it's that massive research exercise of trying to pull together this material that is really the complex bit, and then trying to figure out how to then capture the feel of that area with relatively limited resource. You can't go obviously and have a look. So it's relying on those photographs, and actually with that many photographs, it actually becomes a lot easier. But a 4F with no 4F in service is going to be a problem as well.
Yes, yeah. I think it's been quite a while since the 4F has been out of traffic, so I don't think it's been... because there's at least... I can't remember how many there are in the reservation. Let me have a look. I think there's quite a few. It's 4 total. Sorry, 3. There is 3. That's the reason why, because there's 3 LMS built ones, and I think there's 1 BR one, so I think 3's one is a BR built one.
Yeah, that's the other thing to remember when you talk about, when you use a phrase like a name like 4F, that's not the same as saying Flying Scotsman, which is obviously a specific thing. 4F is a classification, so there are a lot of things that are a 4F, but only one that's what we all call a 4F.
Yeah. So sorry, no, I've got it wrong. No, so so you got technically 4 4Fs, but one of them was the Midland Railway 3835 class, which was rebuilt.
4F, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's Keithley's one, which is one of the oldest, be the oldest 4F. So I think it was. I can't see when it was built, but it was famous loco because it ended up in Barry's scrapyard. It was one of Barry's locos. But one of the 4Fs was owned by the National Railway Museum. I think it was.
I'm sure I remember seeing it actually. One of the times I was up there.
Really? Yeah.
That was a disused station. There are 3 or 4 disused stations on this line. There isn't tons of AI traffic, lorry driver. The passenger timetable is from the 1963 timetable, but there's no local traffic on the line, so that's probably where you're missing a lot of the services, because they would have been done by different types of train. To get to Millersdale. Coming up with a speed limit. That's why I keep holding the throttle back. Speed limits and other things that people tell me are important.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's the viaduct. Is that the
Monsaldale Viaduct.
There we go. There it is.
One of the key moments of the line.
I've actually been to Millersdale, so I walked from there. There's a hotel at the top. I walked down from the hotel across the viaduct, and then all the way through to Millersdale.
This is Monsaldale Station, which is another disused platform. Scott, potentially. No, nothing in stone. But one of the options that we're looking at, again, without any promises or timescales, is using the 4F to haul local services. As you know, along the same sort of thing of as expanding what you can do with the Jubilee on the longer haul runs. We also want to look at whether or not we can expand the timetable to do more freight services up and down the line as well. So there's a lot of options being discussed. We don't have any plans. So at the moment, assume no.
Yeah, I thought as much TOC because I saw her 43924. I saw her this year on static display. But the other three, so the other three 4Fs, including the NRM, I think it's ex-NRM or it might be still NRM, all still in overhaul.
Tony Snake, no plans for Italian routes at this point, I'm afraid. If you've got suggestions for a route you'd like to see, though, by all means post them on the forums. We're always keen to read what people want us to do. Trying to find scenery in amongst tunnels. Go away, tunnels.
Yeah.
Yeah, some diesel locos on it, particularly Captain Price, the Buxton Matlock shuttles, which will be run by DMU. So, because there's no DMU in this pack, ideally be something like a 104, but it could be done by a green 101. You know, there's signs of them on the line, but there are no plans for that at this point. But it is, again, it's one of those things that there are a number of places that this route could be taken in the future in terms of expanding traffic. So that.
I know some people in chat have mentioned about smaller locos than the 4F, like Ginty austerity tanks. I mean, that would be good to see as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd dearly love to see a Ginty, but and I know Mr. Fisk is trying to make one. He did the Ginty in Train Sim Classic, but yeah, it's there's no plan, no timeline for that one. It's a personal project he's doing as and when. So. One mile to Millersdale.
Mile to Millersdale, yeah. Yeah, I agree, chat. Yeah, 4MT tank would be interesting as well because it's, you know, you can do suburban services with it as well.
I mean, this route is. It looks like a bit of a backwater route, but this is one of the London main lines.
Yeah. This
is one of the London main lines. It's just not got the clout of the EC and the WC. You'd see in later years this route would see things like the Blue Pullman running London-Manchester services. So this is your London-Manchester main line. So. It's this is an important line. See now, a Blue Pullman. Not a hint, but lovely. I would not. I think if I suggest that to the team, they may shoot me. Can you please ask us to make a train that exists? Just once.
Well, you could, Matt. You could always do in livery design and do the Pullman in as a HST. There you go.
Just trying to stir the chat up now. Right, this is Millersdale.
Stop there. There you go.
I don't think he noticed I used maximum brake. Don't tell him.
Oh, no.
Got any of the characters? I think we might have seen them. It's just various combinations now of the newspaper. There's the walking stick. I can't remember the one without either. But I love that we've been able to actually get some more of the some of these design work that the character team have been working on actually into the game, which is good. They've got other plans and things they want to do, like I said.
I love seeing all the original posters as well, and and everything like that. It's great. Quite a bit of Millersdale is intact as well. I think there's still quite a bit there.
Right, let's close the doors. Drains are open. Brakes coming off. A little bit of pressure. Waiting for vacuum to get to 21. There we go.
Vacuum pressure.
BC is the local steam brakes on the locomotive, and VAC is the vacuum pressure on the main brake pipe. So the Loco stops by, in this particular case, stops by the steam brake, and then the coaches are all, their brakes are powered by the vacuum brake. So you need them both. So 21 on the vacuum is released effectively, and BC is 0 is released.
Yeah, some locos have very, very complex braking systems. One of the locos that where we volunteer at North Norfolk, we've got 2 that are so their loco brakes are air brakes, but the train brake is vacuum. So in order for them for their locomotive brakes, when you come off the train, you'd have to open up the pump to create air in to use your air brakes to be able to move the locomotive just itself off the coaching stock, which is really interesting.
Yeah, Moricom, I forgot to put the reverser back to full forward. Fortunately, I guess the gear was in a position that meant I could get away with it scot-free. But normally, sometimes that might not work, and you'd put. But it's because if you think about the way that the motion goes backwards and forwards, if you bring the cutoff back, there will be certain parts of that motion where everything's sealed up, and so you can let as much steam in as you like, and nothing happens. And there'll be some windows where it does, so if you're lucky, you'll get away with it. And as I did then, but I know I've tried a couple of times doing some other testing, and it didn't work because motion was in a different place. You just ease the cutoff forward until it starts moving, essentially. More tunnels.
Yes.
Stop. Why are you waiting until the tunnels to fill that up? Up at this kind of speed with the dampers open, it won't take long. That's it. The fire's picked up now. We can see the boiler pressure coming back. Viaduct.
The whites of the semaphore, so you got the whites are normally the back, so you got the yellow and red. So yellows are your distance, and the reds are home signals.
Reds are the ones that can bite.
What's that?
Reds are the ones that bite.
Yes. Yeah. Hurley asks, which key allows you to cook your breakfast on the shovel?
See, in an egregious oversight, there's no such option.
That would be good, though.
Bacon mode.
Bacon mode, yeah. Have you ever tried, Matt? Have you ever tried anything off the shovel before?
I haven't actually, no. So we're at the junction now where we were earlier on. So we drive just up to there and stop. So we're now on the other junction from the other side. No, I haven't had the opportunity to have a proper cooked breakfast.
I know someone who put a, I think it was a beef joint in the smoke box, left it, and then opened the smoke box and did like potatoes and all sorts, did like a full-blown nigh-on roast, and it all cooked perfectly.
I know some people. I've heard of people that wrap up their jackets and stick them in the smoke box.
Yeah.
That's it. Boiler pressure's going up. We're on the % gradient and the 1% gradient now. And still accelerating, so there we go. We've got a nice balance in the train now. Just keep an eye on that boiler pressure. As we come up here, actually, shortly, you'll be able to see the quarries at Tunstead.
Yeah, which is where we banked the train, wasn't it, I think?
Bottom end of the quarry sidings.
There's a G68, yeah, there's a good scenario in the snow for it. A deep freeze.
Blower doesn't seem to be killing the steam generation, no crazy killer. I'll go and get someone to double check that, but I think that's one of the things that was improved.
Go passing train.
It's the lesser spotted AI.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff happening in the yard. There's multiple loaders over in this area.
It's quite interesting. You could got a tunnel for the main line, but the sidings is like all opened up. It's really interesting. Hi, Train Simulator Driver. How are we doing? How are we doing? So the 4F is more of a local sort of branch freight loco. So its speeds are sort of slightly lower, but they can run at quite a fair rate. If you know when they were doing branch trains, you know, some branch lines. You know, I think you could easily get away 50 mile an hour with the 4F. I mean, I found a picture in a magazine where they were testing a 9F on the roller. It was, Jack, you might not know this, but there was a roller. You know how you have a rolling road in model railways. There was actually that for steam engines back in the day, and they used to test and evaluate how steam was doing. When the 9Fs first came into traffic, they tried a 9F on it, and they got it to 100 miles an hour. You can imagine a 9F doing
incredible, isn't it? Someone told me a story about how the train booked to run down the East Coast main line at one point. The loco had failed, and they got someone in the yard who was sorting out a 9F and said, "We think we could get that 9F because it was the only thing available. Can we get that 9F to just run this train into London?" And he's like, "You got to be joking." And they said, "It doesn't matter. Don't worry about timings. Just do your best. Just the important thing is get the train to London." He made record time. He gets to the end of the run, and the inspector on the platform's like, "Geez, you weren't supposed to set records." And he said, "I didn't. I just let it go, and it flew down the line." And it's just when you get the controls lined up. I mean, one of the videos that I watched a while ago was he talks about this expression called galloping. When you get all of the controls all balanced up, everything is fine, and the loco just gallops. And it's there's nothing fighting, everything's working in harmony with each other. and the train is it's a force to be reckoned with in power, and it's really fun listening to. It's a 4 DVD series you can get. It's called How to Drive a Steam Engine, but that's really nothing what they cover at all in there. But it was very good. Some really interesting stories about his journeys on other railways. Right, we're on our way to Chapel in the Frith.
I thought you were coughing from the steam, man.
It's beautiful, isn't it, at the moment, especially Loco. This is what we're all here for. This is Paris at night.
I thought it was India.
It's anywhere you want it to be at night.
Yeah, Victory Oaks has asked, with the new concept of busier routes are better even if the services are not prototypable, are there plans to add local services to this route using the 3 included locos?
I'd say there's a desire to. I don't want to go as far as to say there is a plan to. It's one of the things I'm in active discussions with the team about. Like I say, in addition to the local services and local freight, also expanding what the Jubilee can do in terms of its the amount that you can run on the route. So have the train start at Ambergate and run to Chinley. Probably do it in a second timetable, I think, at this point. I don't know. So that you have the authentic timetable and I'm going to call it the fun timetable. I want to do more with the 4F. I've been doing quite a bit with the scenario planner with the 4F on this route because it is a really fun Loco to drive.
Yeah.
Don't expect to go fast in it. It's not meant to go fast.
No.
But it is. It's good fun Loco. It does quite a good job on the shunting.
Yeah.
No Severn Valley Railway plans, Locan. But I do have this itch to do another preserve railway at some point. It has to be said. Dove Holes Tunnel, which means we're now up here. This is Dove Holes Tunnel here. So this line actually goes up here, around here, and down and around there, and then both these lines, I think, ultimately end up in Manchester.
Oh, Daniel's asked an interesting question. Would a shunting puzzle generator be feasible?
Don't know. I had another hankering for trying to create. What I'd like to do is I'd like to create the shunting puzzle a day. A bit like your daily crosswords. But I know that shunting is not the most favourite thing that people want to do in the game, so it's not really gone anywhere. But I love shunting puzzles. Give me an Ingle Nook or a Time Saver or a Switchman's Nightmare any day. That is an interesting route with some interesting possibilities. Chinley 1.5. Right, let's try not to do a repeat of the 4F with the 20 wagons incident.
Why?
I mean, but the 4F, when I was long before here, I had all the brakes on, but because there was no fitted brakes on the train, it was the wagons were just like ha 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 ha.
Yeah. It was just like a recreation of Thomas. Yeah.
Go. Overbraked. There you go. So I'd rather overbrake and deal with it then. Another Y junction as the line goes off up that way, but we're carrying on this way. To Chinley. Eventually, the brakes come off.
Some awesome viaducts there as well. Look at the size of that. Massive. viaducts. You got a church in the middle. There you go. In the middle of the Y. Yeah, train simulator driver. I think Matt did have problems with the troublesome trucks there. Definitely.
Oh yeah. It was fun though.
Yeah.
To my credit, the train was slowing down. I think in another 55, 60 miles we might have stopped.
I don't think the signalman would be pretty much ill. The signalman along the line would have been impressed.
The game was thoroughly unimpressed at the other end of Chinley Station, let's be honest.
Hi Tintin, how are we doing?
Sorry?
No, I was just saying hello to someone in the chat.
Ask Train Simulator driver where that dodgy looking signal is so I can just go a quick spawn on foot and show, because it's really fascinating. And I know Paul called it out in the beta, so... Right. Overbraked again. Well, we're way ahead of schedule, so I'm not going to worry too much about it.
That's alright, you just make the passengers wait a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know people who've got the original speed limit signs back from the days of Steam. I know quite a few people have got those. Oh yes, I mean one of the questions that people may have, or a couple of people have had, can you do double heading or banking in scenario plan?
I seem to recall there are banking formations. I don't know whether there's double header formations though. Here's an example of your distance. So your home signal is off, but your distance is on. So you'd be looking to. That's effectively telling you here that you can't depart the platform. And as we go past that last signal, we can see our next one is now showing up as a red. But that's what that distance would have been warning you about. That's a very simplistic case, or a simple, straightforward case for the distance. But basically, don't ignore your distance. They've all been checked, they're all right. So if you're seeing an on distant, guard yourself.
Yeah. Check your signals, as they say.
As always, the attention to detail on the signalling and so forth, and the scenery is just, the team have absolutely outdone themselves. Really, really stunning.
Yeah, it's great.
And this is Chinley. Did Paul come back with where I should go and have a look for that signal?
Sure. The train simulator driver's going to have a look, see if there is double header formations. It's where you do the gala, isn't it, as well?
Yep, Chinley Gala happens over here.
We don't have any ledge digger. We don't have any tank engines at the moment. There's none in planning at the moment, but we'd all like to see one, I think.
Oh yeah. So lots of unique signal boxes that all being created as well, which is good to see. Boom! There we go.
There we go. Did you get a gold? You got a gold. Look at that lovely Jubilee. You got a gold.
Right, I need to try and remember where this this odd-looking signal is. Message me. Someone tell me where this odd-looking signal is. It's going to randomly
Which one is
spawn
that?
places now. Sure, it's at Matlock or something. Let's try Matlock.
Is that the signal where you can see the...
Well, it's just this odd-looking signal that everyone who sees it says, that's wrong.
Glod, I think. Glod? Is that it?
No, Glod is just a funny way of saying gold.
Ah.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, there you go, yeah. So that would lift to show the line is clear.
And that is for going in this direction, not that direction.
Yeah.
So the,
Hence why the
train
white's
comes
facing
in.
away.
The driver comes in here. Yes, because that's exactly that. Yeah. So the driver comes in, the guard is looking at that, and that signal is on the same wire as the starter. Up here.
And the starter signal's quite a way away.
Yeah. So it means that there you go, down there, look, I think.
Yeah.
So it means that the guard can see the signal, which he wouldn't have a hope of doing otherwise, because it's around a corner as well as being a fair distance away. So they've so they've set up the second signal here. So it's just a bit of an oddity because it looks like it's a really weird thing bolted onto the side of a bridge there, but there is photographic evidence of it. And what they also found was a slightly more modern photo where the arm has gone. And I think it's just the mounting bracket is still there on the wall.
Yeah.
So that's the level of detail that the signalling team are trying to go to understand not just what signals are where and what they look like, but also how they work with each other as well. Yeah. It really is there's an incredible level of detail going into the setup of signals. It's done quite prototypically to the real thing these days. In the way that all the signals, the routing table and so forth is set up.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying amazing detail. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, no, I want to give a big shout out to the whole team. Everybody has absolutely knocked this one out of the park, regardless of whichever area of it they look after. It's a really fun route to drive. Combined with some really good improvements to the steam physics and so forth, and audio's worked dialing on that the safety valve audio, which has made that significantly more pleasant. It's a really, really fun route to drive and a good driving challenge as well. So I hope that's shown you all everything. We've driven all of the parts of the route pretty much. I think, we started at Ambergate. We've gone all the way up to Chinley. We've done a bit around Tunstead. We did this bit around here, starting at Roseley. We had a look at Buxton and went round the triangle up to here. So we pretty much, I guess, we haven't done that bit of track. But never mind. I've got to leave some mystery for you.
You got to list some mysteries, yes.
What we could do is just have a quick look at Scenario Planner and see what the formations look like. As to if I go Creators Club, Scenario Planner, Peak Forest, blah blah blah, test, add a service, Ambergate, Buxton, confirm. Let's do AF. That's an 8F with the 4F, so you got banking.
Yeah.
With coaches, conflats, on the limestone hoppers. With the Jubilee hop. Got the Jubilee. Obviously, if you've also got things like the Black Jubilee and so forth from West Cornwall Steam, if you have that.
There you go. You have got two.
Two Jubilees. There you go. These they won't fit in my start location, but you got some double headers in there as well. Black Jubilees. The LMS Jubilee is I think the red one. XMS is the Christmas
yeah.
one. So yeah, if you've got the West Cornwall Steam, you've got a good spread of all sorts to pick from there. But the double headers and the banking trains look to be in there as well. So hopefully that has answered that question satisfactorily as well.
Yeah.
On that note, I'll leave it to you to wrap up.
Oh, I'm wrapping up. Am I? Oh, right. Okay. Right. We're back. Look, we're still here. We're still here. Don't panic. We're still here. So yes, it's on pre-order now. You get a 10% discount on Steam, and it's due to release on the 9th of May. So yeah, we've got not very long to go. I hope you're all looking forward to it. As we said, there's loads of articles about the route on our including on the roadmap about the physics updates and bits and pieces and improvements to Steam and Loco add-ons bundle 2. So yes, and you see you get three Steam Locos, 38-mile route, and loads of rolling stock. And the services, it was 110 and 140 was with AI. So yeah, there's loads to do on the route, and I hope you're looking forward to it, chat. So yeah, I think that's it. I think there we go.
Excellent. Right. Well, in that case, thank you very much all for watching, and we will sign off and catch you later. There is the threads going on the forums with feedback on the patch that went out. If you've got any feedback on that, then please do let us know. Particularly if you're having any problems or finding any other issues, do let us know. Otherwise than that, have a fabulous weekend, folks. Enjoy the celebrations, and we will catch you the next time. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.